Hello everyone and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents, or Conversations LA as we're calling it. I'm really excited to welcome Mr. Billy Dorsey and Mr. Beau to our program today. We're going to talk to them not only about their love of music, but also what it's been like for them to do what they love, and to be able to share that with all of you. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it.
It's time to shine, so shine on. Ooh, shine on. It's time to shine. It's time to shine. Now's the moment you were created for. Can you feel it's right? Come on, let's go. You're in control. So tell me what you want.
And we are back with Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm joined today by Mr. Billy Dorsey and Mr. Beau Williams. They both are joining me here in Los Angeles to talk to you guys about their love of music, what it's been like for them to do what they love, as well as what you guys can expect from them in 2019. Thanks to the two of you for being on with us. Really appreciate it.
No,
Well, I've talked to you before on the radio show, so I'm going to start with Mr. Williams here. Mr. Williams, I want to start off by talking about the journey for you, because you've been able to do what you love when it comes to music, and to be able to have fans literally around the country. What has that experience been like for you to be used that way just by doing what you love?
It's been an awesome experience. I never forget when I was called to be on Star Search. I was traveling at the time, and I watched the program off and on, and I thought, oh, it's a really good program. You know, I never thought I'd be called to be on the program. Mm-hmm. And then when I got back off my little tour, we got a call, and for me to come and perform on Star Search. I thought, oh, okay, yes. And so I never forget. It was Sam Harris, the guy that had won for 13 weeks straight. They had people lined up all the way around the building, Hollywood Boulevard, all around the building to get in to see this guy. And in my little group, we had 5 people. And my wife, you could literally hear her knees knocking.
And now to fast forward though to 2019, I mean, do you think the reason why you've been able to get to where you are though, Mr. Williams, is because you put in that work and you've been able to start where you were and to keep going?
Yeah, well, you know, then the Bible says your gift made room for you. So
right.
My gift made room for me, and when I showed up in the room, I did what I do, and they liked it, and so.
Yeah. Well, that goes to you then, Mr. Dorsey. You've gotten in the room and you've done what you've done, and people liked it too. So, and not only, of course, as an artist, but also as a producer, an individual who's been in work with some amazing people. What has that reflection been like for you to be able to see, not only, of course, what you've been able to do, but the people you've been able to touch?
You know what? As much as I love to sing as a songwriter and a producer, I get to step outside of my own vision and help serve the vision of other people. And so if I could choose one, I would choose to be a producer and a writer and be behind other people and helping them to be whatever it is that God's called them to be, which is why I'm sitting here right now. So, I mean, I'm grateful for it. I think whatever it is that you ultimately want to do, if it's only about you, you're missing the mark.
Gotcha.
Whatever we're really called to do is going to be a blessing not only to us, but to everybody connected to us. So I'm grateful to be here.
Billy, he actually, I guess it was like an interview with my wife and I. You know, we've been married for many years, and 45 years to be exact. And so he took the interview and was writing songs from our life story, you know.
For his new album.
From a new album, you know. So that's, I thought that was really cool.
It is. You said something though, Mr. Dorsey, I want to go back to and then bring you back in, Mr. Williams, and that is, I mean, you don't have to be up front.
Right.
I think that's the thing that so many people strive to be, is that person who's seen.
Right.
It takes a lot of, for one, confidence in yourself and your abilities to realize you don't have to be the person always up front. But also, I think, amount of humbleness. That is not something that's always seen in the industry that you're in.
Right.
Where does that humility come from, do you think?
My parents. My parents are pastors. My father served 20 years in the military, so I watched him get up and put on a uniform every day to go serve his country.
Gotcha.
And so their heart has been something I believe is just passed down to me. You can be out front if that's where God called you to be in that moment, but where God is best glorified is when you're behind. Jesus served. And he said that if you want to enter into the kingdom, you got to be as the least of these. You have to be willing to serve too. So my parents passed that down to me, and I just never forgot it.
And then Jesus was the master, but he was the master and servant.
That's right.
He even washed his disciples' feet. Now I'm going to start with a picture.
But that does go to this point to follow what I asked Mr. Dorsey, and that is for you, what he was saying about you, even what you just shared about what he did with interviewing your wife. And
Yes.
how does it feel to know that someone believes in your gift that much?
Well, it's really a blessing. Since I was about the age of 6, I knew that I had a gift. And because my grandfather had a barbershop, and I was 6 years old, and people were paying me money to sing.
Wow.
I was singing Fast Diamond.
I never knew that.
Yeah, you get the 50 cents and the quarters and the dollars.
Yes, sir.
So I made a nice little stash at my grandfather's barbershop.
Wow.
So I knew at an early age this is what I would do. This would be my future, what I would do. I would sing.
And that definitely is what you guys have been able to do. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, you're watching Cyrus Webb Presents, or Conversations LA as we're calling it. We're joined today by Mr. Billy Dorsey and also Mr. Beau Williams. We're talking with the two of them about the journey, how they got here in 2019, and also, of course, what's kept them here. Longevity is another thing that you have known as well as you.
Yes.
What do you think has been the key for you as to why you're still here when so many have fallen along the years?
Reinvention.
Okay.
It's easy to get locked into this is what I've done in the past that was successful, and a lot of people try to just keep replicating that. But in a social media driven age, that changes so much. What was hot last year isn't hot this year. What you accomplished years ago, although people respect it, they don't necessarily esteem you based on that. It's very much a what have you done lately type of society. So if you're not willing to change and evolve and grow and be something different today than you were yesterday, you won't be around long. And I've just always been intentional on learning what's hot, learning what's successful, why is it successful. I'm always studying. And as a musician, I try to incorporate that into what it is that we do.
Yeah. Mr. Williams, to kind of go along with that question for yourself, do you think being able to surround yourself with people who not only believe in you but push you is one of the reasons why you're still around?
Well, even when I was in school, I would surround myself with people that were smarter than me. So that's why I married my wife. That's one of the reasons. It's not only she's beautiful, but she's smart too.
That was great.
Well, look, I agree with you, and I try to do the same thing. But I think too we have to go outside of the two of you now and talk about the audience, because you would not be anything without people being there to support you, without people being able to say, I want to spend money on this, I want to spend time on this, I want to share this. How does that feel? I'll start with you, Mr. Williams. How does that feel to know that you have built not only a support system, but people who are true supporters?
Well, not only that, I'm true to people my supporters, Beau Williams fans. And people, you don't have to say I love you. People can feel when you love them.
Right.
And, I love people, I love my fans. And I always give 110% when I perform. I give my very best, And people can see that,
Right. And for yourself, how does it feel to know that no matter what role you're in, whether you're in front of the mic or behind the scenes, that you have the supporters that you have?
Well, you know my story. So going from being homeless to people coming, we do concerts around the world and have thousands of people pay to buy tickets, and they don't even necessarily speak the same language, but they're singing the songs. Like to be able to experience what God's done even in the last 3 or 4 years since I've been a part of Dr. Beau's life even. It's not something I ever expected. It's not something I even feel like I deserve. I know that I was chosen for a purpose, and I know that it's bigger than me. So I always try to give that same love and consideration back to everybody else, just because I know that it's by the grace of God that I'm even here.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that story, I was actually sharing it with someone before this segment began. I think it is one of those things that reminds people as to what's possible. And not only, of course, what's possible for them, but what God has made possible for all of us.
That's right.
Yes.
Do you hope that your life is just that, an example for people as to just how good and how merciful and how great God is?
If people don't remember anything I've ever written, any song I've ever sang, if they remember that God took that guy from sleeping outside on cardboard boxes and eating out of trash cans
Yes.
to, it's a Joseph story, from the pit to the palace, that's what my testimony is. If people just remember God did that for him, he can do that for me, then I've accomplished whatever I was called here to do. So absolutely, that's it. So true. Music is just the icing on the cake, Cyrus.
That's right. That's right. So I have to ask you this question, then we're going to let our audience know how they can stay connected with you. How has your idea of success changed since all of this began for you?
How my idea of success changed. I'm very grateful, for God giving me the gift to sing and to be a blessing to people. And I've always appreciated, the fact that people appreciate my music. And I don't guess it's really changed me. I mean, I'm still appreciative, still grateful. I guess I'll always be.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Again, everyone, Mr. Billy Dorsey and Mr. Beau Williams have been our guests. So, Mr. Williams, I heard Mr. Dorsey say that you all have worked together on this newest project. What can you tell us about the new album?
I'm super excited about this new project. And as a matter of fact, Billy interviewing us talking about our testimony, being together 45 years. And he actually wrote a song entitled God Kept Me. And so that's the first single, and God, he should have kept me. So I'm excited about that. And so the album is going to be dropped on
April 19th.
April 19th.
And the first single will come out February 22nd, and it features the Hamiltons. God kept me.
Oh, wow.
It's
Wow.
awesome, Cyrus. It's awesome.
So something for our audience to be able to look forward to. That means we have to have you on the radio show too.
Yes.
To be able to introduce it for our Mississippi audience for sure.
Yeah, the name of the album is Timeless. Timeless, yes.
Well, I think that's appropriate, right?
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, considering the journey that you've been on, I think
Yes.
timeless definitely fits.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to the most from the new project?
You know what? This is my father-in-law outside of all of his music accomplishments. So for me to be a part of the family and this be the first thing that we've done together creatively, it's been an honor just being in the studio with him. The family tell you I get more excited than anybody else hearing him sing. I grew up listening to him. My mom listened to his music when I was a kid. So to be not only part of his family, but producing his album,
Wow.
I told you, producing is serving. So to be able to serve not only a mighty man of God who's accomplished me, Grammy nominated, 1 Star Search, 1 Doves, 1 Stellars, #1 albums, just the accolades, but then I know him now. I spent 5 years walking alongside him, so I know his integrity, I know his heart, and if he wasn't in the room, I would say these same things about him. So it's just an honor for me to be a part of it. And we have #1 album, we have, win a Grammy, then those are the goals. But just being able to do this with my father-in-law and see my wife happy and my mother-in-law happy, and to hear the music that we're creating together, it's an honor.
Wow. How can I stay connected with you?
Social media, Billy D the Bridge on everything. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. My wife got a Snapchat for me on music, but
Okay.
Billy D the Bridge is for me.
All right. And Ms. Williams?
Beau Williams at AOL .com, and also
Dr. Beau Williams on Facebook.
Dr. Beau Williams on Facebook.
And our website is officialbowwilliams.com.
Yeah, that's the new website.
There we go. And we'll be linking all of this in the notes for this segment. Thanks to the two of you for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Definitely, thank you.
Great to be here.
My pleasure. And we thank you, our viewers, for tuning in to this edition of Cyrus Webb Presents.